Hi guys, Van from Naked and Famous Denim here again. So we're doing another like part 2 to our little repair thing that we did that one time. If you guys remember me showing you how to repair a hole, we have another hole. As you can see here, it's pretty sizable, around the size of like a coin. Very easy for things to fall out of. So I actually just prepped a few materials off screen to get this ready. The materials we're gonna need are, we're gonna need some hand sewing needles. So you can see I have a few there. You're gonna need, actually this one's optional, but we have a washable glue stick or water soluble glue stick. If you don't have that, you can use sewing pins, but this actually makes your life a lot easier. You're going to need fusible interfacing. Well, not necessarily, this is also optional, but it will make your life easier. And you're gonna want scrap fabric and an iron and thread. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by putting our fusible interfacing, and if you guys have that, you'll notice that one side, I'll just bring it closer to the camera, one side has a little more texturing to it, so if you run your fingers across it like that, it'll get caught on your nails, and the other side's a little smoother. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna get the side that's rough and face it outwards towards our hole, because that's where the adhesive is. So it will adhere to our fabric when we iron it. Whoops. And now I'm also gonna get my handy dandy glue stick. And again, I'm just gonna glue down my fabric. And you can, if you want to, at this stage, either you can iron it first, or if you're doing the glue stick method, you can iron them together. Because if you're doing this with pins, it'll be significantly harder to iron it down. So I'm just gonna lay it flat like that. I'm gonna do a little bit of the edges just to make sure that it's actually sticking to the fabric, like so, and like so. There we go. And now I'm gonna get my handy dandy industrial iron. You don't need an industrial iron for this, you can just use a regular one. And I'm just gonna let it steam onto it. And then that should be more than enough to get everything stuck inside. You can double check that by either running your hands against the actual fusible interfacing. You can't quite tell, but my nail is getting caught on the fusible interfacing. I can't peel it off, which is what you want to go for. So I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to get some more fusible, actually, I have some more over here. I'm going to get the fusible interfacing on this side. I'm gonna do the exact same thing. So, and you can get fusible interfacing pretty much from any craft store, or if you guys have Amazon, you guys can use that. Get it shipped to your place. And the thing you wanna make sure when you're using your fusible interfacing is to make sure that you can have it kind of lying flat. The good thing about fusible interfacing is because it is like adhesive and also usually is synthetic material, it doesn't move around as much as like a flowy cotton or like a linen. So usually it'll kind of stay put, which makes your life a lot easier. So I'm just gonna put some more glue. That should be enough. Maybe I'll add some more in a second, we'll see. But I'm just gonna plop this back down over the hole like so. And I'm just gonna go over it again. And it's really important if you guys are doing something like this with fusible interfacing, because it is like basically a plastic glue. If you guys are getting your iron and you're having the adhesive side face up, if you iron directly onto the adhesive, it will get stuck to your iron and then become a bit of a mess and a bit of a burn. So if when you're in the future ironing your stuff, it will kind of leave burn stains. So just be mindful of that. That's also why we have like our secondary fabric here, just to help with that. So I'm gonna go pick out a thread for this, and then we can come back in a second and I'll show you guys what to do next. For the sake of this project, we're gonna get Tex 27. I'm actually gonna get a visible thread because A, this is on the inside of a pocket, so it won't matter. And B, because if you guys make any mistakes, if you're doing something on the inside, sometimes it helps to find a thread that doesn't match anything you're working with. So if you have a mistake in the future, you can just pick it out. So we're gonna just take this to a sewing station. You basically give double of what you think you're going to sew. So for example, maybe I'm gonna sew like using just this amount of thread. You're gonna wanna double up on that, and the reason is because you're basically working with 2 threads all together. So it'll be a little tricky. I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna thread this, but a trick that my grandma and my mom taught me when I was growing up, when I was doing hand sewing, is you bite down on the thread and bring it to a point. So just bite on it with your teeth like this and kind of just pull it out, because that way it kind of flattens your thread and brings it to a point, so it's easier to thread through the needle. Obviously it's a little hard to watch someone thread a needle. I don't know if that's even in focus. Actually, maybe this is a little easier to do it like this. Awesome. And then once we have this threaded, I'm just gonna bring these 2 ends together, and I'm just gonna knot them together. And the reason, again, we're doing this is to secure what we're trying to sew, but also to create like an equal 2 thread situation, because 2 threads are stronger than 1. And then I'm just gonna double knot it, because sometimes, depends on the fabric you're sewing with, but if you only knot it once, sometimes the needle just passes through and pulls the thread with it, and then you have to re-sew it again. So it's easier to just tie 3 knots in one go. I'm gonna cut off the excess too. So I flipped our little pocket inside out. Doesn't really matter, honestly, because it's still gonna be on the inside of the pants. But I'm gonna do it for this, for the sake of just being able to see the hole, because you can kind of see it from here. And so what I'm gonna do basically, it's a little tricky. This is why I suggest doing like hand sewing it, because it is significantly harder to do with a machine like this. Also because you're gonna be pushing and pulling the fabric in the machine, and if you just do it like that, you're more likely to just sew the pocket to itself than anything. So essentially what I'm just doing right now is I'm just poking through, oops. As you can see, I'm just going around like this hole. Thankfully, because I used a dark fabric, you can kind of see it through the interfacing, and also against like the white fabric of the pocket pouch. So I'm just starting from the inside of the pocket. It doesn't really matter where exactly you start or finish, but I'm just doing it through here for the sake of just being able to see this hole. That way I can just perfectly like go around it. And as you'll see, I'm kind of just doing a thing where I'm passing it to both of my hands. So going back and forth between using my left hand to pull, right hand to push through. It is a little arduous to do it like this with the pocket, because it's so narrow that you kind of have to just keep taking your hand out, putting it back in. But that's okay, because cool things take a little bit of time. And just another thing, as you're sewing, especially, this is something I've noticed with my time doing hand sewing stuff, is you don't want to pull too tightly, first and foremost, when you're pulling on your stitches. Otherwise it brings your stuff in kind of like that, which is, you don't want bunching, because it'll start to create like a weird texturing and obviously kind of a puckering in your pants, or just anything that you're sewing. But another thing also is, I'm just gonna pull one side out myself just to give you an example. Sometimes on the other side, your thread will do something like this. So you wanna make sure, sometimes either you can just feel on the inside with your hands, or you can just individually pull both like threads to get what you need it to. So I was just pulling on the left thread and the right thread to just get it to be like tight like that. It's honestly not the end of the world if you have like a little extra thread just hanging about, but it doesn't feel nice. And sometimes like if it starts to wiggle out of its original position, it becomes like less sewn down, if that makes sense. Welcome back. So as you can see, I actually started like pretty much finished this first pocket. You'll see there's some gapping here, and then I think I'm actually gonna give it a second round just to make sure like all my bases are covered. But this is honestly as much as you really need to do. Silly me, I forgot, because I usually don't do it this way myself, because it just, sometimes I find that it's easier for like more room for error. But what you can do is essentially you puncture it, just basically like a whale jumping out of the water. You just have it come back up, give it a pull, And then, like a whale, it goes back into the water. I don't know why, it makes me think of a whale. But essentially what you can do is you can basically in and out. If you hold your fabric a certain way too, you can just do it in one push without even needing to like scoop the needle back out through it. And by doing this also, it gives a bit of like almost a chain stitch situation. Oops. So if you remember what I mentioned earlier, you got to pull both sides of the thread to get that. And then that way, you're kind of just getting as much of the surface area as possible that you need to. So yeah, just basically sew one, go back, and then pop your needle back up either close to where your thread is coming from, or you can go like a little closer, in between, doesn't really matter. Whatever makes the most sense for you. And then that way you can kind of, as you can see, you're getting a bit more of like a chain stitch action. And I'm gonna finish this on my own, but I wanna show you guys before I leave how to finish your work. So what you're gonna do, as opposed to picking up a bunch of fabric all in one go like that, I'm gonna tell you to just get a little scoop of fabric close to where you're at. So I'm just gonna do this without stabbing myself. I'm gonna poke this back out. Oops. 1 second. So I'm just very tiny, very small. I am going to basically tie a knot. So I'm just wrapping my thread around, pulling once, and I'm just gonna bring it in so it's a nice small loop. And before I do that, oops, before I even like pull it tight all the way, whoops. I'm just gonna separate that so it's a little easier for you guys to see. Before I even do that, I'm gonna just do maybe a second. I personally like to do 3 just because it makes me feel a little more secure that way. Sometimes like if you just like double knot it the way I was showing you earlier, sometimes it comes out, usually it doesn't, but I like to be triple safe about it. So I'm just gonna pull that as tight as I can. And then, if you remember, in the sewing machine video, we're doing essentially what is a back stitch manually. So I'm actually gonna bring my needle and put it back in the direction it came from. Whoops. And then, actually let me rotate it because it'll be a little easier. So I'm just gonna put it back in the direction it came from, essentially to lock it in place, but also to keep the thread just away from like that little knot I made. So for whatever reason, if it decides it wants to unravel, it kind of can't. As you can see, I have a little bit of knotting over here. So I'm just gonna pull this. Sweet. And then either I can go back in the direction of the knots, or I can continue going just back in the direction it came from. I'm just gonna keep going back in the direction I came from. Doesn't really matter. And then maybe just one more time, going back in the direction of the knots, like so. And then once you're done, you can just cut. You can either cut close to the source, or you can cut further, depending on how much thread you want to like leave behind. You can just cut close to the source though. And then when we're done, so as you can see, I mean, this side doesn't count because I didn't completely finish it, but on this side, you can see, basically, my pocket is secured and in place. It's not going anywhere. So once you're done, you can also cut off all this excess. These scissors aren't really made for actually cutting the fabric. They're just made for cutting the thread. So I can't really cut it off properly right now, but when this is done, you can chop all of that off, and then you have a completely sealed off pocket. So thanks for joining, guys. I hope that your future holes in jeans are easily repaired and nothing falls out. And if you need to figure out how to do that, you can just do it just like this. So see you guys later.